Hey, what's going on, y'all? Trav, yo, what's going on? Sam, good evening to you. Chili Wheels, what's happening, bro? Miami Native, what's going on with you? How y'all doing today? How was y'all Monday? Bob, what's happening? Yeah, so peep the title. Peep the title. We got another topic. Make sure y'all hit that like button as y'all come into the room. But yeah, that's good. Happy to hear Tuesday here already. Daniel, what's happening? Mario, what's good? Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. As y'all come into the room, go ahead and hit that like button for me one time. Man, Mike, I'm glad I can motivate you, man. Y'all motivate me as well, man. We do it together. YSO, saying what's up before I deploy. I change water once a week, and when food turn in color. I could definitely dig that. Thank you so much for tuning in and answering that question right off bat. Good luck and God bless, man, when you deploy. Brian, what's happening with you at work? That's what I'm talking about. Got to get those bills paid. I feel you. I had a long day at work. I'm so happy to be off. Miami Native watching football. Man, I appreciate you for interrupting that football for this video then, man. I really appreciate that. Sam, what's happening? Monday was great. Had a good day at work. Got a great chest day in. And then unwind with some feedings. That's what I'm talking about. Man, I'm slacking on the workout, man. I need to you, man. I need to get like you. I've been lazy for like the last 3 weeks, but I'm gonna get back on it. Definitely got to get back on it. Chest day was always my favorite day. What you benching? I know this way off topic, but I was a gym shark. So I'm way off topic, but I was a gym shark. So man, what you benching, man? We could definitely talk about some exercising too. Robert, what's happening with you, bro? YSO Niners played already. No need to watch football. Well, that's what we here for, man. I'm gonna take over. I'm gonna pick up where the Niners left off at. Sam, honestly, I don't do water change unless I have something wrong with my water parameters, or if there is some sort of bacteria, virus, etc. in my tanks. So I'm talking about that's what I want this video to be about. Because a lot of people probably do water changes once a week, every other week, sometimes twice a week, especially if they got discus. So yeah, I hope y'all just seen that comment. Sam, I'm gonna repeat that. Sam says, honestly, I don't do water changes unless I have something wrong with my water parameters, or if there's some sort of bacteria, virus, etc. in my tanks. What y'all think about that? Let me know. Mercedes, what's going on? Shout out to New Jersey. Bob, my African cichlid tank every couple of weeks, but my plecos once a week. Okay. They have a heavy bile load. Make sure y'all hitting that like button as y'all step into the room. We got 26 viewers and we only got 9 likes. I know we could get it up to 26 likes or 25 likes. Bob, bench isn't great. I've been stuck at 185. Okay. How many reps on how many reps on the 185, Sam? Thank y'all for hitting that like button. I really appreciate it. I hope y'all don't mind me getting off topic real quick. We got to talk a little bit of working out. It's health as well. You know what I mean? So I hope I'm not boring y'all that I'm getting off topic real quick. But I could definitely help you out with that bench. I could help you out, get over that plateau. If you plateaued out at 185, I could definitely help you out with that. If you change water often, you will never know if you have a problem. Chili Wills Reef. Yeah, man. I agree with that. Sam, you ain't right. But I agree with you, though. I agree with you, Chili. I definitely agree with that. So make sure after we catch up, I want everybody to answer this question of the topic of the day. 185 for 3 was my best, but I'm responding to Sam in the bench press. 185 for 3 was my best, but it's been about a month, so I maxed out last. Okay. So for 185, if you only hitting 185 3 times, I probably would throw like 150 on there. If you're doing 150, 10 reps, 15 reps, then you're gonna definitely start creating that muscle, that push through, that till failure. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing 150 and you can hit it 10 or 15 times, you could push through those shaky last reps. You don't want to drop that weight. I like working out until failure. So I would recommend, decreasing that weight a little bit. Start making sure that you strong at doing, whatever weight it is, 8 reps, 8 to 10 reps. Then I would bump it up. I'm not really big on doing the 3 rep max because you're not gonna really get that good pump. And then also that kind of hurts you. You know what I mean? If that weight come down on you, you don't have a spotter, things like that. So I would definitely recommend lowering that weight and work between 6 to 8 reps. Whatever weight that you're able to hit, 6 to 8 reps, then you could bump it up a little bit and just keep within that range. And then maybe once a week you could kind of like test it, see where you at. And B, what's happening with you? Guys are gaming. Yeah, we back, man. What's good with you, man? How you doing? Lyndon, man, what's going on with you? Happy Monday. We got Robert Manning, my 20-gallon betta tank with the cherry shrimp. I change the water a little bit every day. My big cichlid tanks maybe every other week. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start asking everybody, why do y'all change it as often as y'all change it? All right, we got Worm. Can you do a video on skimmers, which ones you use and how they work? Thanks, bro. Yeah, I could do that. I'll tell you right off top, I use eShops. That's the only skimmers. I bought 2 skimmers. So I use eShops. If you have a smaller aquarium, you could probably do a hang on the back skimmer. But yeah, I'll do a video on that. That's not a problem at all. Saying TFC, I'd like to talk more with you about working out and stuff. Can I hit you up on another platform or DM? Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, Sam. For sure hit me up. We could get after it. For sure. Right. Hey, man, I said we gym sharks, man. I said I'm a gym shark, man. I didn't want to throw everybody off, but yeah. So we got Gaza Gamer. I'm here, fam. Still no luck on my African cichlids with bloat. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I'm sorry to hear it. Stay after it. Man, I got 2 fish in quarantine right now. Off topic, I got 2 fish in quarantine right now that's been dealing with internal parasites. You know how when your fish got internal parasites, they just keep on, defecating like, white or clear, feces? Man, they won't eat. I've been treating with Prazi Pro, and they just, man, it looks like pho in the tank. Noodles. I can't get it to stop. I can't get them to eat. And every day, man, I guess all we can do is just keep after it. Worm, I have a 125. Okay, you have a 125. You definitely need a good eShops. But you're going to spend a penny on it. You're going to spend a penny on it, but it's worth it. Do you already have a sump in place? All right. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Miami native. I do water changes weekly 80% and run an activated carbon on 2 hang on the back filters on a 75, and I use polyfill. What do you have in that tank? Is there a reason why you chose that regimen? Does that keep your tanks crystal clear, keep your numbers down? What's the reason why you do your water changes as often as you do? And why do you run carbon? I gotta ask. I don't run carbon in any of my aquariums. Now, if I treated my tank with medication, then I run the activated carbon. Otherwise, I don't run carbon. Sam, how is the newest gourami doing? Sam, man, he's still not eating. Still not eating, Sam. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. Somebody mentioned trying some beef heart. I got to go buy some beef heart. I'm going to try that. But he's still not eating. Robert Manning, I change water more frequently when I feed heavy for the babies and the filtration is low. That's why you got to over filtration, my man. Over filtration. three times your tank volume. If you have a 125, you need a filter that's going to filter, 375. Okay, you have a 40-gallon sump. That's perfect. That's perfect, Worm. So make sure we gonna talk. So like I said, get you a nice e-shops. I think man, let me look and see what I got right there real quick. So check out the e-shops. That one is an X160. So check out eShops online. Check out the eShops brands. Trav, you said, does my son love the tanks or he don't care? My son is a fish. Man, he loves water. He loves water. So whenever he see the tanks, whether it's in my fish room or in the fish store, he kind of don't like fish stores because I feel like that he's been overexposed to all the aquariums here. So when we go into a fish store, he acts a fool. He don't like it. But as far as the ones here, yeah, he enjoys the fish. He enjoys feeding them. He enjoys me feeding him. He really liked the eels. He really liked the stingray. But he really want to put his hands in the tank all the time. And like I said, he likes to feed the fish. All right, Mercedes, do you have any problems with snails? I really hate them. I have been trying to get rid of them, but they keep on coming back. Mercedes, I love snails. I love snails. So in my betta tank, in the video I just posted in the betta tank, those snails have been reproducing like crazy. And I love it. I love it. They help with algae. It's an ecosystem. I'm really big on the ecosystem in my aquarium. I'm really big on that. I have a different way of keeping my fish tanks. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like a few of the people that's already answered these questions. That's kind of like hands off. I try to be as hands off as I can. But I'm gonna tell you how often I do my water changes and on what aquarium and why I chose that frequency. If you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button for me one time. All right, Sam, honest question though. Why change the water so much if you have healthy water, healthy bacteria in your water? We on the same page, man. We on the same page, Sam. We on the same page for sure. That's the question. That's the question. So since now we done caught up, API General Cure. You talking about for the parasites? I don't know if the parasites will work for, I don't know if API General Cure will work for that. The Prazipo is a lot more stronger for the internal parasites. But usually if you dip the food in the Prazipro and then feed it to them, it works a lot better, but they're not eating anything. They don't even eat the pellets or nothing. So I'm having a little bit of a problem with that. Aloy Lopez, is it hard to take care of a saltwater tank? Seems like a lot of work. And how about us going on vacation? But by the way, I really like all of your videos. Thank you, Aloy. I really appreciate that. As far as the saltwater tank, it's not that much harder than a freshwater tank, to be honest. The only thing that's a lot harder is getting your saltwater together. If you have corals, it's a lot harder. You got to worry about lighting, your expensive lighting. You got to worry about auto dosing. You might worry about auto top off. You might worry about like the calcium reactor. You're going to worry about, then you got to worry about your water changes with the salt water. Then you got to top it off with RODI water. So it's not really that hard because a lot of people, especially like fish stores, they actually use RODI water for the freshwater tanks. I don't do that. Tap water, condition it, good to go. But, if we're talking about starting off with a 20-gallon, which is what I always recommend, if you want to get in the saltwater hobby, start off with like a 20-gallon, it'll be easy for you. If you want to know more, I have a whole playlist about the introduction to the saltwater hobby. If that don't help you, don't hesitate to ask any questions. I'll tell you right here, right now. You want to start a saltwater tank, get a 20-gallon tank, buy your live rock, buy your live sand, buy your salt water. Make sure you have a good hang on the back filter, have a heater, put it all together. As soon as that tank clear up, add fish. Just like that. And as far as vacation, man, I gotta find somebody that's gonna take care of these tanks when I do go on vacation. I still don't have a plan in motion where if I leave, somebody comes and take care of all these fish. I got to deal with it. It's what I chose to keep, so I got to handle it. 808, what's going on with you, man? How you doing? So he says, I recently got my first saltwater tank, and my ambun Toby got ick. How would you treat that? Copper safe. Copper safe. So with the saltwater aquariums, saltwater fish, copper safe is what I recommend for ick. I have not lost any fish with that. Don't listen to anybody if they're talking about cupramine, anything that's heavy in copper, that's like poison. So don't use it. Get you some copper safe, keep that on hand, and treat your fish. Guaranteed it's gonna work. I had a gym tank that had ick for like a month. So when I tell you keep using it, I don't care if you don't see any results right away, just keep using it according to the recommendation on the back. But copper safe is gonna get your fish cured for sure. Alloy, super dependent on the type of environment you're trying to create, all corals, fish, and vertebrates, or whatever. Thank you, Sam, for answering that question. Gaza Gamer, get you some yo-yo loach. They will eat them up fast. I'm glad you told me that. I definitely would not put any yo-yo loaches anywhere where I have snails. Miami native, I got a 20-gallon African peacock cichlids, and I run carbon for the clarity. Man, Miami, man, you shouldn't have to run carbon for the clarity. Your tank should be clear already. If you're running carbon to make your tank clear, it's something that's out of whack. Something that's out of whack. I don't run carbon on any of my aquariums and they stay crystal clear unless I've overfed, unless I've overfiltered, and that overfiltering, overcleaning, not overfiltered, sorry, overcleaned, over water changed, because it's damn possible to do too many water changes and crash your aquarium. That's why I wanted to make this topic. That's why I wanted to talk to everybody about this topic, because I was watching Father Fish this morning. And I don't know if y'all know who Father Fish is, but I was watching Father Fish. And real smart dude. He's been around and he's been in the hobby for 75 years. That lets you know how old he is. And he's very educational, very informed, and very knowledgeable. So, he doesn't believe in doing water changes at all. And he has a really good reason on why he doesn't. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to do water changes at all, but from experience, I have definitely crashed my aquariums from doing too many water changes. So we need to talk about the frequency. Let me know when y'all want to know the frequency of mine. I need to get to some of these comments. T. Barrington, always been a once a week water change guy. I only keep nano reefs to change 3 to 5 gallons a week. My corals respond positive to weekly changes. Okay. If you had more macroalgae, more chaeto, things like that in the refugium, you probably wouldn't have to do that water change as often, though. API General Cure, sure, you just put it in the water. Been using it for years, and it never fails me, but okay. All right, so guys, I'll give that a try. I'm willing to give anything a try, because at this point, I don't know if they're going to make it. eBay listings. I moved from salt to fresh. Love it so much. Freaking more personality or personally. It's been a world of difference in my enjoyment in the hobby. eBay listings. That's one hell of a name, and that's good. That's good. As long as you stand in the hobby. That's all I want. Yeah, thank you guys. Father Fish is definitely a polarizing figure for sure. But he makes a lot of sense. So let me tell you this. I said it last night. I had a long live stream, almost 3 hours on Garcia Aquatics last night. So when he invited a whole lot of different people on the live, and we were all talking about water changes and things like that. My 800-gallon pond, in almost 2 years, I've only removed water, actually took water out for a water change twice. The first time it was because it was just set up, right? The second time, it was because I repotted my big plant in there. So what I'm saying is that when you have plants inside of your aquariums, anyway, whether it's in a sump, I'm a big fan. If you can't put plants inside the aquarium, then build you a nice sump. Get you a hang on the back filter that you don't really need, that you could put plants in there, throw a light on there, get some roots inside that tank. If you put plants inside your aquarium, you're just going to limit the amount of water changes you have to do because, we know that we're pulling out the phosphates and nitrates, but that is plant food. Plant food. So, I'm real big on making my tanks look as if they were out in nature. You know what I mean? That means the real rock. That means the real driftwood. That means the plants if possible. I mean, there's so many tanks in my fish room that I'm not able to put plants in because of the cichlids. Now, moving forward, let's fast forward, maybe 6 months down the line, you're going to see plants in all of my sumps that I'm going to put in place for my aquariums because those plants are going to make it to where I don't have to do as many water changes. And like I said in the beginning, I have crashed aquariums by doing so many water changes. You know what I mean? Some people like to have just no kind of substrate at all, bare bottom. My question to you is, why do you do that? I'm pretty sure if you watched a couple of videos of mine or even heard somebody else say this, you understand that nice substrate is also filtration. You have millions of beneficial bacteria that's colonized in that substrate bed. That's also like filtration. So keep that thick substrate bed, and you are allowing all of your beneficial bacteria to thrive and facilitate that nitrogen cycle, which is so absolutely important for any aquarium. So let me tell you how often, before I read some more of these comments, don't get mad at me because I'm gonna get to them. But for my aquariums, I probably, and this is only because I feel like I have to, not because my fish are acting a certain way. It's just me. I feel like at a certain point I got to do a water change, especially when I clean my filters, and I like to sand vac and gravel vac. Some people don't. So this 240 right here, I probably do a water change on it. That means actually take the water out. I probably do that every 2 months, sometimes longer. I know you probably like, man, there's no way I would do that. But I'm kind of like how Sam said it. I don't really have to do it if my fish are acting right. I don't chase numbers. I don't constantly test my water and do all that. I'm not stressing myself out like that. I pay attention to the fish. So if my fish are acting a certain way, I know what time it is. You know what I mean? If I'm overfeeding like how Sam was saying, I know what time it is. If my tank is looking cloudy, looking green, I know what I need to do. I'm gonna pull some of that water out, and I'm gonna add fresh water in. So I'm not against water changes by no means, but I definitely believe I don't want to take Father Fish words and regurgitate them, but he says that if you're doing water changes once a week, you're doing something wrong with your aquarium. Now, I don't want to say that because I don't know what your aquariums look like, and I bet you your aquariums look absolutely stunning. So I don't want to say that there's something wrong with your aquarium, but I will say this: I believe weekly water changes is a bit much. If you have to get in there and do that, you're not having your aquarium be an ecosystem. You probably got fake decor in there. Not saying there's nothing, and I'm not saying there's anything against it. Keep your aquariums however you want. Everybody should be able to do so. But if you're doing it in a way of having it as a piece of nature, you're allowing it to be what it's supposed to be. You're not having bare bottom. You're not having fake decor. You have a thick substrate. You have plants in there, especially if you have nanofish. Get you some plants if you have nanofish. But it's an ecosystem. You're not going to get in there and do that many water changes on top, especially if you have it properly stocked, especially if you're not overfeeding, especially if you're overfiltering it. Those things alone is going to allow you to have better results with your aquarium. You're not going to have to do as many water changes. You're not going to worry about crashing it. Somebody hit me up in a comment. They DM me, and it was a female, and she say, I just did 100% water change on my aquarium, and it's still cloudy. So I went to the store and I bought all new filter media, all new everything, the new sponges, all new filter media. Put that in, it's still cloudy. What should I do? Should I do a 25% water change? So I told her, I said, you basically crashed your aquarium. Now you have a sterile tank. Now you got to repeat the whole process all over again because you did 100% water change. I will never do 100% water change. And if I did an 80% water change, best believe it's for a reason. I might have gone a long extended period of time without doing a water change, but from my experience, when you do an 80%, you're going to probably do another 80% in another week or two. Why? Because you never allowed your aquarium to balance out. The longer your aquarium run, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all OGs that's been having y'all aquariums up for a long period of time, let me know. Please let me know. I'm going to get to the comments. I'm going to get to the comments, okay? Let me know. The longer you've had your aquarium up and running, the better off it is. If I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong. Because that's what I've experienced. The aquariums that's been up and running 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, oh, that's almost zero maintenance. They top it off. But when you've only had it up and running for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, especially when you constantly get in there changing out that water, like I would never do a weekly water change on my aquariums again. I did that. When I was in the apartment, y'all, I was doing 2 water changes a week. And I had to keep that up. I had to keep it up to keep my numbers low. You know what I mean? So as I've learned, mainly with this pond right here, I never would have thought an 800-gallon pond would be so easy to take care of. This is the easiest thing to take care of in my fish room. And it's 800 gallons. The easiest thing. Easier than my 5 gallons. Easier than 5-gallon tanks. The easiest thing. Why? The plants. The plants take all the work out of the hobby for me. All I got to do is top it off. I don't do nothing else. Add water, it evaporate. Add water, it evaporate. That's it. That is it. So what I'm telling you is that if you go out into nature and you grab your own fish and you look at how these fish live, you check out some other videos and you see how when they catch these fish, there's a ton of plants, water murky. The water doesn't look like our aquariums. The water's not clear, it's murky. So that goes to tell you that you don't have to have crystal clear water for these fish. They don't live in crystal clear water in the wild. Now we don't have to look at a murky aquarium, but what I'm telling you is that maybe you're doing too much. Maybe you're getting too involved. I say it all the time, allow your aquarium to work with you. I'm not saying make it work for you, I'm saying work with you. Let your aquarium do more than what you're doing. The nitrogen cycle, your beneficial bacteria, allow that to work. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get to some of these comments, and I definitely want to hear your feedback. Like I said, if I'm wrong about the longer the aquarium been up and running, the better off it is, I definitely want to hear it. And make sure y'all hitting that like button for me one time. Let me get to some of these comments. I got to go all the way back. All right. Yeah, let's go. I got to go all the way up on this list, y'all. So when I start answering these older comments, don't be like, man, what is he responding to? I'm responding to the comments that I missed. I want to make sure I get everybody's comment. Oh, we way up there. Okay. All right. So, planning on a heavy tank soon. Worm said he's planning on a heavy tank stock. You plan on a heavy tank stock? Do you know what kind of tanks you want yet? All right. Alloy is super dependent on the type of environment you're trying to create. Okay, I read that one already. All right. It's always been T. Barrington. It's always been a once a week water change guy. I already read that one. All right. Ethan, what's happening with you? Sorry I missed your comment a long time ago. Gaza Gamer, you don't use active carbon. Only time I use if my tank smell. If your tank smell, it might be the food. If the tank smell, it might be the food. I tell you this, right here, y'all see this right here? This is that get Hikari floating food sticks. It stinks. Matter of fact, most Hikari food stink. But the fish love it, and then after it dissipates. It shouldn't stay foul smelling. You know what I mean? And if it does, you might need more filtration. In the past, I would think that my tank smelling means that I got to do a water change. It's imbalanced. It's very important to keep that aquarium balanced. T. Barrington, vacuum and filter back into the tank is just as effective. Yeah, yeah, it is. I think if you gravel vac, I don't have the vacuum that allows the water to go back into the tank. But if I did, I think that would, spot cleaning. You get the feces up off or the detritus off the substrate. That's very helpful. 100%. It'll spare you having to do a water change. Ethan, I do 75 to 90% once a week, sometimes twice, 2 times, 60 to 75% a week. Ethan. Man, oh man, this is what I was talking about. Yeah, I got to get way up there. I got to get way down there, as a matter of fact. Big Tank Hank, what's happening with you? Ethan, I'm going to read this comment again so everybody know what Ethan said. And it's not to make fun or anything like that. Ethan says, this is what I wanted to have going on with this conversation. Ethan says, I do 75 to 90% 1 times a week water changes, sometimes 2 times a week at 60 to 75%. Now, that's exactly what I was talking about. I wasn't that guy. I was doing probably 50 gallons twice a week when I first stayed at that 240 in an apartment. But the thing is, man, you never allow your aquarium to balance when you do that. I don't know what your decor look like. Maybe you could tell me, maybe you could tell us. Do you have plants in that? What stocking do you have? Do you have substrate in there? What kind of filter are you running? All of those things matter. All those things matter. And somebody just said, Matt said asking for an ammonia spike. Yeah, I hope he's talking about doing that water change that often, because when you leave that aquarium alone and it's properly balanced, you have the right amount of fish, you feeding the right amount of food, you have the right kind of filtration, you're not gonna imbalance that aquarium. You know what I mean? You're definitely gonna get an ammonia spike. You're gonna crash that aquarium. You're gonna get a bacterial bloom. All of that stuff happens when you constantly get in there and doing these water changes, because you're pulling out all that good beneficial bacteria. And then they gotta start the process over. Jake, when is it safe to do a water change on a brand new aquarium setup? On a brand new aquarium setup, I don't do fishless cycling. I do fish cycling. I find me a hardy fish. I put 1 or 2 in there because you need to build up the bacteria. So if you put no fish in there, it's going to take a longer time to cycle it. So I put hardy fish in there. I probably do a 20% water change in 2 weeks. Do another 20% water change in 2 more weeks. And I still just enjoy the fish. You know what I mean? Then, next thing you know, the tank is going to be clear. That's just me, though. Somebody else might be able to answer that question. All right, Sam, I enjoy his perspective on things and really opened my eyes to viewing my aquariums and ecosystems. Yeah, man, yeah. Father Fish is really dope. He's really dope. Gillian Wild Aquarium, 20% a week. That's not bad. Now, let me tell you this. If your water don't have any evaporation, do a water change. If you don't have no evaporation whatsoever, do a water change. I should have said that in the beginning. Since my tanks are in the garage, and I always have that garage door open, all of them evaporate quite often. Every week I got to top my tanks off. Every week. So I might not be doing water changes as often, but I am adding fresh water into the aquariums and the pond. So let me tell you that. So, I don't want to get it twisted to where you think that, hey, I shouldn't be doing any water changes, even though that, even though there's no water evaporating, or even if there is water evaporation. If the water is evaporating, just go ahead and top it off. If it's not evaporating, you might want to pull out 20%. You might want to pull out 10%. All right, still at the top. Regina, how you doing? You finally caught me. If y'all just get into the chat, hit the like button for me one time. I see 44 viewers. Can we get 44 likes? All right, all right. Guys, a gamer, you said 100% water change means no water in the tank. That's what she did, bro. That's what she did. And I would never make anybody feel bad at what they do because we all keep our fish and keep our aquariums the way we do it. So again, this is not to try to single anybody out. This is not to say, hey, you're doing it wrong. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to open up dialogue so we could get a better understanding so we all could learn from each other. That's the whole reason for this topic. I don't want anybody trying to laugh at anybody. I don't want anybody trying to make somebody feel bad for the way they do things. We all do it differently. As long as it's working for you and your aquarium and your fish, do it by all means. Keep doing it. But we might be able to learn a little bit from each other. I might be able to learn. I'm definitely going to be able to learn from y'all, and I hope y'all can learn something from me. I really hope that y'all can learn something from these awesome viewers of each other. I really hope so. So where we at? Where we at? All right. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Okay. I don't implement the deep layer. So Sam says, "Oh, Anna, what's going on with you? How you doing?" And Sam says, "I don't implement the deep layer substrate idea, though. I stick to easy plants like Amazon sword. Man, Amazon sword don't do good in my aquariums. You lucky. Java fern, nope. Do you run do you have like a certain light? Do you have do you run CO2? Do you fertilize? Do you put the dirt substrate? Yeah, what do you do? How do you keep those plants alive? The only plants I've been successful with was Anubias. Water spangles and other beginner plants, and they root just fine in my gravel beds. Yeah, that's good. You gotta let me know, Sam. You gotta let me know. And Marvelous Gap, thank you. I appreciate that. Sam, bro, said it. Paying attention to your fish is the most important thing to do. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I agree. I'm not a person that like to put chemicals in my aquarium. What do y'all think about chemical filtration? Are y'all a big fan of chemical filtration? I'm not. I'm not. I definitely want to hear whether or not you guys are. That's part of the carbon, the activated carbon. It's a chemical. It's a chemical. Exactly, Sam. If you got some fish acting weird, investigate it and dive deep and dive a little bit deeper. 100%. That's a fact. Chris Rosa. I just finished my water change today on my 200, and I do it once a week for 80% because I have heavy stock of American and African cichlids. Increase your filtration. Increase your filtration, Chris. If you have a 200 gallon, you should be able to filter 600 gallons with your filters at a minimum. At a minimum. If you have it overstocked, all aquariums, you should definitely be able to filter your aquarium 3 times the stocking, 3 times the tank volume. Sorry, not the stocking, but 3 times the tank volume, at least, if not 4. If not 4. If you do it that way, there is no overstocking. It's not going to be overstocked. You have a bunch of fish in here that's properly filtered in that tank. Period. That's just my take on it. If you look behind me, this 240 only have a few fish in here. A few fish. Guaranteed the filter, the FX6, and that thick substrate bed is able to handle this bioload. That's why I'm able to go a couple months without doing a water change. I cleaned that filter the other day. I went a year without cleaning that filter. Not gloating. I'm just saying that that's what I've been able to do because I feed it correctly. I don't overfeed. I feed them every other day. And I make sure that I top it off when it's necessary, and I don't keep it overstocked. I used to do the overstock tanks, and when I did, I had 3 FX6 filters on this aquarium. 3 FX6s. I was doing water changes twice a week. You know, all of that. All of that. You know what I mean? And again, my tank will sometimes be cloudy. This tank is never cloudy. It's never cloudy. I allowed the tank to work with me. I allowed the beneficial bacteria to get in front of me and do most of the work. Where we at? Marvelous Gap. I do not like the sand bed on freshwater tanks. My plants were thriving on gravel and dirt. The switch to sand, I 100% regret, and everything sits on top of the sand. What you could do is, Chris, or Marvelous, what you could do is, Marvelous Gap, you could still put your gravel on top of that. Put your gravel on top of that. You know what I mean? It definitely holds better than sand. Will that work? Guys, a gamer, I have off to do my water change every what? I have to do my water change every week. If not, I'm gonna end up with dead fish, all those African cichlids poop like crazy. And I know you can't put plants because you got African cichlids. I know you can't put plants. Have you ever thought about having like an above the tank sump and putting plants in there? Will that work? If you do that, you won't have to do as many water changes. And I'm not trying to bash on water changes. I'm just trying to understand the frequency of everybody's water change. And possibly give you a tip on where you might not have to do as many water changes, because water changes once a week is not good. In my opinion, it's not good for your fish. It's not good for your fish. You're never allowing your fish to get used to the water. They're never going to get used to the water. Guys, a gamer, I feed 3 days in the week, two times those days. Okay, that's you know, everybody could do it. However, but I have on whenever I do feed my fish, I do feed them, a couple times, especially if I didn't feed them that much in the morning, I might feed them a little bit more. Later on that night, if they're looking hungry, I might even throw some food in there right now just to feed my fish. But again, like I said, it's just about trying to find that balance in your aquariums. If you find that balance in your aquarium, you'll see that you won't have to do as many water changes as you typically do. Coral Aquatic Reef, yeah, man, they are doing too many water changes. I will have to say that. If you're doing your water change a couple times a week, that's way too much. You got to balance out that aquarium. You might have to buy another tank, separate some of those fish. You're going to have to add more filtration, maybe not feed as much. Any of those options work. Or you can just keep doing it the way you're doing it. I know that water bill can be cheap if you're doing water changes every week or 2 times a week and it's on a bunch of aquariums. I know that water bill can't be looking nice. Save yourself some money somewhere, somehow. Gillian, I finally got my ammonia on point. Added 1 clownfish yesterday, and I'm going to continue to let the tank mature out a little bit before adding any more. Gillian, that's right. That's how you do it. Good job, man. That's what you do. You definitely want to keep that 1 clownfish. I probably wouldn't add another fish for a couple weeks. Make sure your tank's not getting cloudy. Make sure that it's still looking crystal clear. You might be able to add another fish. You know what I mean? Take your time with it. Crawl before you walk. This is the saltwater hobby is amazing, but sometimes it's unforgiving. You know what I mean? Also, at this point now that once you have a couple fish in there, you might want to have a quarantine tank. I know I say that, and y'all might say, hey, you don't have a quarantine tank, but that's because I lost I lost like $600 worth of quarantine fish because of this hot garage. Now that it's cooling down, fall's about to hit, I'm gonna set back up my quarantine tanks. Y'all gonna start seeing some nice exotic saltwater fish again. I got some on the list that I gotta get, and yeah, I do plan on quarantining them. Some of the fish you gotta quarantine. Tangs, gotta quarantine those. Angelfish, you gotta quarantine those fish. I don't believe you gotta do all of them. I'm not a believer in that. Pufferfish, please. They're scaleless. If it looks sick, don't buy it. But a lot of those other ones, they'll get sick later on. And then they'll get your other fish sick. Guys, a gamer, me having African cichlids, I often do my water change. You have to do your water change. Guys, a gamer, man, do what you feel is right. Do what you feel is right, bro. I'm not trying to deter you. I'm just trying to, spread a little bit of a different side to a different point of view, making sure that we all talking about the same thing, making sure that we could bounce ideas off one another. Tim, what's happening with you? I see you on this screen. I haven't even got to the comments down here. Man. Big Tank Hank, yeah, the plants are super important for that balance. Super important. It allows you to have the ecosystem. You can't have an ecosystem without the plants because there's nothing that's going to pull out the nitrates and phosphates. That's the problem. If we could find a way to get plants in all of our aquariums, I guarantee your fish are going to be happier, they're going to be healthier, and you won't have to put in as much work. Guaranteed. Regina, Mom and Carter is doing very well. Carter is probably asleep at this moment. Mom is in there cooking some dinner. Can't wait to eat. Can't wait to eat. She told me to come get on. She told me to come get on live. And by the time this live is over, I'm going to be eating some food. Thank you for asking. I really appreciate that. They appreciate that. Guys, again, with the stock in my tank, I can't pass 10 days without a water change or everyone is dead. You don't have plants. I knew you didn't have plants, Gaza. I knew you didn't have plants. You couldn't have plants if you feel like that. Is it possible for you to set up an above the tank sump with plants? Do you know how to do it? Are you willing to do it? Or is it like an eyesore? Okay, he says, okay, I have one FX6 and a 407 on a 120. Over filtered, perfect, that's good. Your filtration is top notch. You just gotta find a way to get some plants in there. That's it. Plus the FX4 you setting up. My man loves filtration. That's what I'm talking about. Coral Aquatic Reef. Damn, how far am I off? Man, I'm way off, y'all. Hold up on the comments. I gotta catch up, y'all. I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to read as fast as I can and really thoroughly answer these questions and respond to them. Damn. All right. Man. Coral Aquatic Reef says, why wait until something wrong to use carbon? It's best to do preventative maintenance. Because have you ever heard about your fish getting hole in the head from carbon, activated carbon? It happens. Your fish could definitely get hole in the head from using activated carbon. It's a chemical. Carbon is actually put in place for a certain thing, to remove medications, to help you with your the clarity of your tank, to help with the smell. If your water is discolored, or if it has a smell, there's something else going wrong with it. It don't need carbon. You need to figure out what's going on with that tank. That's what you need to do. Gaza says, fam, 80% of the time you don't know when something is going to happen. I don't know if that was to my comment. That's way up there. Sorry about that. Mr. G, yo, what's good? Proud of you. You've been watching. I've been watching for a minute, but I never use anything but aquarium salt. That's what I'm talking about. I use aquarium salt too, also Epsom salt. I do 25% water change every week. Been doing this since the 80s, and fish still doing good. Mr. G, I'm not saying your fish isn't. Man, I gotta shave my nose hairs, man. When you hit 40, man, these nose hairs start tickling. I don't think y'all know that. Y'all youngsters don't know that. But I gotta definitely get in there with the little trimmer, man. It was crazy. That's a little side topic. But yeah, when you hit 40, yeah, you gotta deal with that. But Mr. G, I believe 100% that it's been going good for you since the 80s. I'm not saying that it won't go good. What I'm saying is that if you're having to do these water changes as often as you feel that you're having to do them, it might be a reason why, other than I need to do water changes. If you have an ecosystem in your aquarium, that means you have the substrate. That means you have the live plants. That means you have your Daphnia. You have your detritus worms. All of these things are part of the ecosystem. They all have a purpose. I know some people are like, oh, no, not detritus worms. It all has a purpose. What does detritus worms do? It eats up the leftover food You know what I mean? And let's talk about the stocking on a proper ecosystem. You have your fish that's gonna eat the food that you feed, the main fish. You have the catfish that's gonna come behind those fish and eat the fish, eat the leftover food on the bottom. Then you have like plecos, you have snails, you have things that's gonna basically do some of that work, eat the algae, things like that. Then you got the plants that remove the phosphates out, they remove the nitrates out. An ecosystem, an ecosystem. That's why when people ask me how do I feel about snails, I love the snails. I'm gonna take some of those snails out of my betta tank, and I'm gonna put the, not the betta tank, out of my guppy tank. I'm gonna put some in my betta tank. I'm gonna put some in my other tanks. Why? Because that's part of the ecosystem. But again, I know it's unsightly to some people, but man, I'm trying to take a little piece of nature and put it in my aquarium. That's how I feel about it. All right. Migsy, I try to leave my tank alone, let the plants do the work, put the pothos in there and let it work. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So some of y'all, if y'all don't know, take you some pothos, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, grab you some pothos, throw them in the back. The roots are gonna sit in there. Some of the plants are gonna eat those roots. Some of the fish are gonna eat those roots. But throw those pothos on the top of that tank. Throw the pothos in there. It's going to look good. It's going to look natural. You're going to see the roots and everything hanging. And then it's going to be pulling out those nitrates, pulling out those phosphates. Thank you, Migsy, for saying that. Ethan, I have about a 1-inch layer of gravel and there's some rocks. 2 Aquaclear 110s filled to the brim with biological media. And I've got somewhat of a heavily stocked with small, medium size. Okay. You might have to get a better filter. Aquaclears, I love those. You could definitely shove some plants in those, but you 100% want to add. Did I miss? If I missed the size tank that is, I apologize, Ethan. Could you tell me again? If you mentioned it, could you tell me again what size tank you have? Underwater jungle depends on the tank. I could agree with that. It depends on the tank, but it also depends on whether or not your tank is balanced. That's more important than the size tank. Is it balanced correctly? That's of the utmost importance. Ethan, I'm doing a lot of breeding, so I do feed somewhat heavily, raising all those grow outs, but not overfeeding, only feeding twice a day, so it's controlled. Twice a day would make you do water changing more often. I agree though. When you breeding fish, you do have to feed heavily, and you probably will do more water changes. I agree with that. I experienced that with my Dovai Feste fry. I was 100% feeding a lot. Tank would get cloudy, obviously. You know, it was bare bottom, so it'd be easier to clean. So I could agree with that. I could agree with that. But like the display tanks, you know, you might be able to do it a little different. Man, y'all are killing it with the comments. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. If you just tuned in to the live stream, please go ahead and hit that like button. I am trying my best to get to all of y'all comments. I'm still, I'm not even there yet, y'all. I'm like way up here, y'all. So please forgive me for taking a long time. But I'm gonna get to all of your comments. I'm gonna do the best I can. All right. Underwater jungle, high energy tank. I do a 30% twice a week. Lower energy tank, maybe once a month if things are stable. Okay. What do you consider high energy? Thank you so much for hitting that like button. That thing went up to 52. Thank you. All right. Ethan, I do a lot of breeding, so I do feel, okay, I read that one. Cool. Robert Manning, I have 2 FX6s on my 125 Dovai and turtle tank. Change 50% maybe every 3 weeks or so. Properly balanced. That's cool. That's good, Rob. Yeah. You know, we be on the same page a lot, man. Yeah, we on the same page with that one. You know, turtles are extra messy, extra dirty, so I definitely feel that. And every 3 weeks, a 50% water change, so basically 50% of the tank once a month, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Guy's a gamer for sure. What works for you, but it's definitely always room for improvement. Like I say all the time, don't never assume that you know everything. Instead, assume that you know nothing so you can still learn. If something that's said makes sense, I gotta take it. You know, I'm gonna have to think about that. You know, I'm gonna take it in. I'm gonna think about it for a little bit. I'm gonna see if I could apply something. I do that all the time. Ethan, no, screw chemical, only need biological. Really, no need to take away any filter space from having more biological. 100%. 100%. All of the hang on the back filters, get that carbon out of here. Get that carbon. I keep it in case I need it when I want to remove some medications, but get that carbon out of here. More benefit, more biological bacteria. I mean, more biological filtration added in. Whether it's a freshwater, add more lava rock. Add more of the media blocks. I'm a big fan on buying the media blocks online. I don't know if y'all buy those, but I would have to pull it out one of my filters. But they sell like a nice box of media blocks. Plenty of surface area is cheap. I recommend getting that. Matt Wilson, I use activated carbon. I noticed the difference in water quality, water clarity. Let me reread that. I use activated carbon. I notice a difference in water clarity. I'm sure you do, but you know what you're going to end up doing? Constantly buying more carbon. Why is your tank not clear? What's going on with it? Where is it about? Huh? Is it ready? About 10 minutes? And Carter sleep? Okay. All right, thanks, babe. Why is your tank cloudy? That's the question. Is it looking gray? Is it looking green? What's going on with it? Because your tank shouldn't be cloudy. It should be crystal clear without using activated carbon. Migsy, nah, if my tank starts to smell, I'll hit the filter with the carbon for about a week. All right, man. All right. Okay. I don't want to tell you nothing. I don't want to rain on that parade, man. But hey, all right. I'll just say that. Sam, I have a gravel substrate and an LED light fixture that is on timers. Keep the light consistent to replicate some sort of day cycle has gotten me the most success. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fact. A lot of people do that. I don't really do that. I mean, I do have my lights on a timer, but I do like to come in here, cut them on and cut them off because sometimes it's, depending on how I feel, when that bill gets too high, you know what I mean? Because the fish don't really care about the light. That's for us to see them. And all of my tanks are inside the garage. So it's like, if I have the lights on all the time, it's like, for what? The only reason why I do keep the lights on a lot more than what I typically would is because if you have fish that's always in the dark, as soon as you start trying to record and you cut the light on, they're going to be all scared, hiding from the camera and things like that. So, yeah, but the tank in the house, only time I cut the light off is if I'm trying to get, lower some of that algae, some of that cyanoalgae. Gaza. That's what I always say, if you have a 125 gallon, get a filter that does twice the load. Exactly. Sam, I could get my exact lighting for you soon, but they're cheap LEDs with a great timer. I hate those with the timer. I hate those lights with the timer. I'd rather have the external timer, give me a nice pneumatic timer, plug the light in, set the timer, done deal. All the ones that I got from Higer, I don't like them. Medina Cichlids. I run 3 AC filters, aqua clear filters on a 125 VA high cichlid community tank, no problems. Yeah. How big are those VA high? A hang on the back filter is good, but I wouldn't, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't do just hang on the backs on a 125. Not from my experience. It's just they just don't filter them good enough. But I'm glad you're not having any problems with that. I hope it stay like that. I really do. Marvelous Gap. Yeah, put that gravel on top. Put that gravel on top. Then you have the gravel, you have the sand, you have the dirt. It'll do you good. So guys, I said he tried the above the tank sump or the above the tank filter with plants. Good. Okay. How far off am I? God. Hey, you know what? I'm about to just go to the bottom. I'm going to go to the bottom. Y'all could re-ask a question. If I didn't answer it, if I didn't respond to it, just go ahead and re-ask it because I definitely want to make sure I get everybody. Damn. All right. Fluval lights are the best. And Vish, what's going on with you? DJ Guppy Fish, how's it going? 3G, what's up? Ping, what's happening? All right. Lupe, what's going on? Reezy, what's happening with you? All right, damn. DJ Guppy Fish, what's happening? What's going on? Good evening to you. All right, so we got Justin, what's happening? Justin said, yeah, what's up, bro? I want to show you a picture of my 20-gallon setup before I put water in it to make sure I'm good and pick up the filter and go. Justin, send that to me on Facebook. Send it to me on Facebook. The videos actually come out really good, and I'll be able to see it. Ping, natural cleaning with plants. That's what I'm talking about, man. Give me some, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Tim, I have a 210 discus tank with jungle valve. No water changes in 3 years. Tim, man, when were you at, man? That's what we needed you here. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Look what he just said. Look what he just said. I'm going to repeat that for everybody. I have a 210 discus tank. Remember, everybody make it seem like discus are so hard to keep. I have a 210 discus tank with jungle valve. No water changes in 3 years. Just top off. That's what I was telling you. If the water evaporate, just top it off with fresh water. That's all you got to do. Filtration, wet, dry, sump. That's what I've been trying to preach this whole time. The plants is going to take the work out of the aquarium for you. If y'all want to keep doing water changes every week, every 2 weeks, twice a week, by all means, it's your tank, do it however you want. But if you're tired of doing that, you're tired of paying those expensive water bills, you want to find an easier way so you can enjoy your hobby a little bit more, if you get you some plants, I promise you, you will not have to do as many water changes. Get some plants. Find a way to get some plants. I'm preaching plants and I don't have plants in none of my tanks except for the guppy tank and my better tank. But I promise you, you will see plants in this fish room in every aquarium some way, some form, or somehow. They're going to be in sumps where they can't be inside the tanks. I could either, matter of fact, even in the 240, I could throw some anubias in there. I've done it before. They don't even mess with the anubias. But, they grow slow. They grow slow. But when you bring them out the tank, like with pothos are an excellent filter. An excellent filter. They grow rapidly like this. Constantly, all the nodes is going to drop roots. It's going to do you good. It's going to do your tank good. So, man, if y'all not subscribed to the channel, make sure y'all subscribe because I'm telling you, y'all, when I set up these above the tank filters and I put all these plants in there, I don't expect nobody to go to the older videos. We're going to do it fresh. And I want y'all to see it. I want y'all to see it. I agree. I definitely love seeing people get into the hobby, Tim, for sure. Man, you having a glass of wine with me, DJ Guppy? That's what I'm talking about. I got my coffee. Got my coffee on hand. Man. Yes, sir. Shamu, what's going on with you? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live stream. To answer your question, I do I do a water change every weekend, but only really because I feel like it. I really only need to do it every 2 weeks or maybe even once a month. Respect. Respect. I feel that. I feel that. You know, when I do my water changes, it ain't because I have to, because I want to. When I sand vac, it's not because I have to, because I want to. But now, I will tell you this. My Giardini tank and my Peacock African cichlid tank, since it's right by the door, right by the roll-up door, it gets a ton of algae. A ton of algae. The tank turns green. The water turns green. Not just, you could grow algae in the water column. Water turns green. I do a water change. There's no other way around it. I don't have a UV filter. So, yeah. In Vish, I'm definitely trying to go strong, man. I'm definitely need little weak ass muscles. I gotta start working out. Yeah. Sam, man, appreciate you. Thank you for your contribution to the topic, to the channel, to the chat. Man, you have you a good night. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Mr. Pooh, you said nose hair get worse at 50. Man, I'm gonna be mad when the hair start growing out the ears, man. I'm gonna be mad when the hair start growing out the ears. Glow, man, what's going on? 30 to 60 Aquatex on the back of a 125, or should I get a canister? Get a canister. Get a canister. And then add the plants to your hang on the backs, to your Aquatex. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. That's exactly how you do it. All right, DJ Guppy, those media blocks I mentioned, are those about 4 inches? You already knew. Yeah, those are exactly the ones I'm talking about. That's right. You on point. Bayou, what kind of plants? So if we talking about the plants that grow out the water, get some pothos. Get you some pothos. They're going to grow like crazy. They can vine. You can wrap them around. You can wrap them right back into the to your tank, however you want to do it. Do pothos. If we talk about inside the tank, it depends on the fish you got. But pothos grow like crazy. All you need is lava rock. You make your above the tank sump. You load that up with lava rock. All that's going to be filtration media. All of that. All that surface area. Then just put your pothos right there in that lava rock. It's going to grow like crazy. I don't know if you've seen one of my older videos like 4 years ago. That's all I had on my 125s. But that's like I said, I'm going to do it again. I'm about to set that up on all of my aquariums because I need that good plant. I need the plants. I need that natural filtration. Tim, substrate I am using in my 210 discus tank is Fluval stratum plant soil. That's it. You know, I was honestly thinking about finding a good soil. I've been seeing it a lot. People put the soil, then they put the sand, and then you could put the gravel on top of that. I was thinking about doing that so I could start really planting some plants inside of my tank. I just got to find the right tank for it. But I think that's what I want to do. What do you think about that? Would you recommend doing that? Shamu, I'm not scared of keeping discus. They're just too expensive. Almost cried paying $55 for a 5-inch roseline shark earlier this year. Hey, discus are expensive. They're expensive. But I think they're worth it. Honestly, I think they're worth it. I didn't think so at first, but if you buy you a saltwater fish, you can buy you a discus. $55 really isn't that bad for a discus, but it might be a little bad for that roseline shark. They got some discus for like $59. $39 too if you get them on sale. I went to an aquarium just the other day. They had discus probably the size about this big, and they were $39 a piece. Mr. Pooh, you got tanks that you do every 6 months? That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I wanted. That's what I needed in this chat. That's what I needed in this chat. I'm telling you, you don't have to do it every week. I've been trying to convince a few people. I'm trying to convince you. Get you some plants so you won't have to do as many water changes. That's all I'm saying. Still do it if you need to, if you want to. Still do it if you want to. But you won't need to. I don't want to get in the way of you doing anything that you want to do. I just want to possibly make it a little bit easier for you. I say it all the time. If I gain some knowledge, I want to share it. I want to share it. If I made a mistake, I want to share so you don't make the same mistake. I'm telling you, this 240. Look at an older video. Look at my older videos when I was in an apartment. 3 FX6s on it, and I'm still doing water changes twice a week. And I'm still having issues. Now I got 1 FX6 on it. I barely do water changes on it, and there's 0 issues. 0. 0. No disease, no issues with the water clarity. Even when I clean my FX6 filter, it looks like it don't need to be cleaned. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, when I was in an apartment, it took me 30 minutes to clean each FX6 filter. Why? Because I never allowed the bacteria to work with me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to help y'all out a little bit, you know, pull that coat a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Trying to help you out just a little bit, just a little bit. I know y'all help me out a lot. I hope y'all know that. Y'all help me out a lot. Kayla. How you doing, Kayla? Can you make a trading page for people to trade equipment, fish, plants, etc.? How do I do that? I would love to make a trading page. Also was trying to figure out how to do this Discord thing. If anybody know how to do the Discord thing, if anybody want to be a moderator, if anybody know how to, this is like my 4th live and I'm just getting started. So I don't really know how to do a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if you know how, go ahead and email me, thefishcorner0219@gmail.com. You could go ahead and DM me on Instagram. You could send me a personal message on my Facebook. You could get in contact with me any of those ways, and I would definitely appreciate, you know, some of that information, because, you know, I'm old school. I'm old school. I barely know how to work my iPhone. Don't laugh. It ain't funny. All right, let's go. Mr. Pooh, energy drink. That's what I'm talking about. Whatever it takes. Got to get that energy up. Man, am I missing a lot of comments? Damn, it's hard to keep up. Kevin, what's happening with you? DJ Gubby, yeah, man. Toast. For sure, toast. All right. DJ Gubby, Miami in, wrecked my tank today. Wanted to be all week. Ping. Does algae also clean filter? Those algae also clean filter and water. I leave algae on objects in my tank to do this. Yeah, what? You kind of threw me off with that question, Ping. I'm not going to lie. Does algae also clean, filter the water? You're going to have to rewrite that question, bro. I don't really know. I really don't even know what you meant by that. Sorry. So we got Justin. Yo, what's up, bro? I want to send you a picture of my 20-gallon without the water. You already mentioned, already commented on that. Tim Russell, the older you get, the more you will start looking like alpha. Man, yeah, you know, but you know what? It's all right. You know, that's part of life. You know, we grow old, we get wiser. I'm okay with that. You know, that's why they got the little clippers. Get the nose, get the ears, all of that. All of that. All right, so Justin asks, also, what salt do I buy? Man, your comment might have been way up there. So, Justin, are we talking about, Justin Rosario, are we talking about for saltwater? Are we talking about freshwater? I'll just get ahead of it. For saltwater, you want to get either reef crystals, or you could just get just instant ocean salt. And then if we're talking about for freshwater, if you want to get, you know, let's just say you got Popeye or something like that, you could get unscented Epsom salt to help treat that, or you could just get aquarium salt. So if you have salt water, all right, I just seen your comment, Ping. Where is it at? So sorry, does algae clean the water the same way the plants do? Green algae, Ping, confirms that you have a healthy aquarium. The brown algae is the nasty stuff, is the dirty stuff. Green algae is actually natural. It does help with keeping your aquarium clean, but who wants to look at green algae though, right? You don't want to look at a green aquarium, so it just doesn't look good. So that's why we take the algae out. You know, I typically leave. I got some algae growing in this tank, my 240. I didn't take it out. I got algae growing inside of my stonefish, stone toad. I got algae growing in there. So I don't always take it out. Also, depending on if I have a background, I might not take the algae off the back glass. I might let it just grow on the back glass, especially if you have fish that actually eat it, snails that eat it. I don't remove all of it. But that's just me. Like I said, I'm big on the ecosystem. You know, some people might say, oh, you got, you know, your tanks look dirty, or you might have a dirty tank. Man, I don't want a sterile looking tank. I don't. I want it to look natural. But that's just me. You know, everybody has their preference. You know, you have people that do the water changes twice a week. You got people that do water changes in the last 3 years. You know, I'm like in between, you know, but I believe that everybody should keep their aquariums the way they want to keep them, the way that makes you happy. If something makes you happy, by all means do it. He says, I want to see that comment. Green algae will take more oxygen. Live plants and surface agitation is needed. Surface agitation is always needed. And Mercedes, good night to you. Thank you for tuning in. Surface agitation is always needed. And in my opinion, plants are always needed. The thing is, if you have plants, it outcompetes the algae. The algae won't even have a chance to grow. Just like with this pond, I don't have to go in there and clean nothing. It don't really get algae because the plants take up all the nutrients, all the nitrates. You know what I mean? So just make sure that you try to create that ecosystem. If that's something that you want to learn more about that. Learn more about how you can make it look as natural as possible. Because that's what the fish want. I mean, I hope you know that. That's what the fish want. The fish want it to look natural. They don't want to be swim. I'm not going to talk about nobody's setups, but the fish wanted to look like, they wanted to replicate what they would have in the wild. They want the substrate. They want the plants. They want a ton of plants. They want the structures in there so they could feel comfortable. You know what I mean? They don't want an empty tank, bare bottom, always clean, always, you know what I mean? They want it to be a little dirty sometimes. Just a little dirty, not too dirty, not to the point to where your water parameters is off the chart. But what I'm saying, a little bit of algae don't hurt. Of course, the sand doesn't hurt, even if they're digging and doing what they do. Like, you know what I mean? Let the fish, that's their home. Let the fish live. You'd be mad as hell if somebody came to your house saying, don't do this in this house. Don't do this. You know, you buy a house and then the mortgage company come and say, hey, you can't do this in here. Don't do this. You're gonna be like, this is mine. So I feel the same way about my aquariums. I did get mad about the pond, but for the most part, I allow my fish to do whatever the hell they want inside their aquariums. They could dig however they want. They could move whatever they want. I leave it like that. If I want to add more substrate, I pour more substrate in. You know, just so it's not, you know, when they dig, it's not all the way down to the actual glass. But for the most part, man, I'm about to try to create my tanks and have it as natural as possible. And I want my fish to treat it like home. Do what y'all do. I want to sit there and watch what you do. You know what I mean? I'm not able to look at them in the wild, so I want to try to look at them and see how they would react, you know, in the wild. I want to see them depict natural behavior. And again, if I've missed your question, I apologize. If you really want me to answer it, go ahead and answer it. Go ahead and write it again. I'm gonna try to get to everybody's question, but I'm about to get off in a little bit because it's about to be time for dinner, and I'm hungry. Mr. Pooh here in Dayton, 360. What? Water changes hurt. Pink says water changes hurt his back. Yeah, I agree. It can make it easy. Get you a pump. Get you a pump. Get you a long hose. Pump that water outside. Water your plants. Water your grass. And then when you need to add the water back in, fill up a trash can. Same pump. Pump the water back in. That way you're not really lifting. You're not really lifting anything. You do water change once a month, fresh water every 3 to 5 months, and I use canister for all tanks. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Ow, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. So with the salt water, you might do a little bit more, like you said, once a month, but you on point with doing your fresh water every 3 to 5 months. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong, and I'm pretty sure it's because you want to, not because you have to. The gourami is looking big. Yeah, he's like a 10-incher. Tim, yeah, the Discord page would be awesome. You got to let me know how to do it. All right, whatever your budget, once you get things up and running, fish are happy, work on efficiency. Exactly. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you. So Tim giving me some appreciation. He says my montages and the videos are always fire. That's Aida right there. That's Aida right there. Yeah, she definitely got her way with the camera. That's a fact. I still have DJ Guppy. I still have cassettes. A lot of them old school works. Yes, sir. That's right. Justin Rosario. In terms of soil, there are some nice carpet plants. I'm pretty sure with the carpet plants, you'll probably need to run CO2 though, right? Mr. Pooh, I want to buy an iPhone for myself. I went straight new old school razor. You went old school flip on you? Yeah. I want the new iPhone as well. Man. Like I've had this phone for probably like 3 years, and I still haven't figured out how to use it as a, still haven't figured out how to use the whole thing. As long as I can record, as long as I could, get on social media, create my videos, get on the internet, send my messages. I don't have to, these gadgets, man. I remember back in the day, and I say back in the day like I'm hella old, but I remember back in the day, man, with the Nokia, it was a lot simpler. I'm glad it's a lot better now because I'm using my phone to do my whole YouTube. But it's a lot of things, man, that come in these phones that you don't need. I ended up deleting probably like seven apps that they just had uploaded in the phone that was taking up space. I'm like, I don't need this. Meanwhile, it comes with it. Invish OfferUp is a good spot to get some tanks and equipment at a good price. Just picked up a 75-gallon for free. Ooh, you came up, Invish. Ooh, you came up. I'm going to have to start looking at that. Man, I'm surprised that nobody else wanted to pick that up. Is it leaking? Is it good? Holding water? Man, you got lucky. Boozle's favorite saltwater fish or coral? My favorite saltwater fish is not really a fish. It's an eel. Matter of fact, I'll tell you both because, I do have a saltwater fish that's my favorite. So my favorite saltwater eel is a dragon eel. Japanese dragon eel. You can look it up. Beautiful, man. I would love to have a dragon eel one day. I really would. That's like, it's a $1,500 eel, and man, they're beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. And as far as the fish, one of them was that saddleback grouper that I bought, but the gem tang. I don't really have a single one. The gem tang, the sohao tang, the queen angel, those are like my favorite saltwater fish. Meanwhile, you don't see no gem tang, you don't see no sohao tang, and you don't see a queen angel. So I don't have any of my favorite saltwater fish at all right now, aside from that saddleback. I love these fish. I've had them for some years. I wouldn't trade them for nothing, but When we talking about my favorite, it's one of the ones I don't have yet. And as far as the coral, my favorite coral probably is, I really appreciate the Duncan coral. I really enjoy the Duncan coral. Kayla, me and my wife just set up a 75-gallon, went to the lake and got 2 1-pound rocks with algae on it, and the tank cycled in a week. Facts. Facts. So I even went to one of my creeks and picked up some rock that had some algae in it. It kind of died in the aquarium. It didn't thrive or anything like that. My algae eaters was like eating it and all that. But definitely, I'm sure that helps cycle your aquarium. Be careful though. Sometimes you bring other pathogens to your tank. Be careful with that. Red sea salt if you have coral. Yeah, also, like I said, reef crystals. Reef crystals if you have coral. Tim Russell, Fritz Blue Box is what I use for my reefs. Green algae will take more oxygen. We've seen that already. That stinks a lot. Looks like algae. Yes, thanks. I look at algae like grass is for us. More plants. I'm going to try to filter and fill it up. There we go. Okay, Gaza Gamer, he says, I'm going to try that above the tank filter and fill it up with lava rock and plants with pothos. Glad to hear it. Please make sure you share that. Please make sure you share that. I want to see that. Medina, some fish such as severums will consume your plants. I learned the hard way. Medina, do like Gaza said. He's going to try the above the tank filter. Fill that thing up with some lava rock. It don't have to be big. Let me get out the way. We got one. We got those 2 right there. Those are above the tank sumps right there. Unfortunately, those are on saltwater aquariums. But when they go on my freshwater aquariums, I'm going to fill them up with lava rock, and then I'm going to put some pothos in there. Your plants your fish can't get to those plants. Shamu, dinner, it's like 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. I know, man, I had a long day at work. Then when I got home, I started digging that pond for my turtles. I'm digging a pond in the front of the house for my turtles, mainly for Miami. Is Garcia in the house? Garcia, what's happening, Berto? How you doing? Man, I told you I was on Garcia Aquatics live stream last night. Make sure y'all go check that. That's Garcia right there. Everybody give him a welcome and get on over there and give him a subscribe. If it's not too much to ask. It shouldn't be too much to ask. Can you show us your filter setup? Kayla asks, "What can you show us your filter setup? What do you use as media?" So Medina, I use pot scrubbers. I'm on a budget. I use pot scrubbers instead of sponge, right? You could even use body sponges, everything from the Dollar Tree. But then when it comes to the biological media, I buy all of my, I buy media blocks. I buy media blocks from off Amazon. They're like 4.2 inches. You could buy a nice size box for probably about anywhere between $30 to $40. Well worth it. And I would show you my filters, but I feel like it's gonna start lagging because I'm in the garage. So I don't want it to start lagging. All right. Justin said the Garami loves the camera. Where he at? Chilling back there. All right, Shamu, most important part is that I dose the new water with Sea Chem Prime before it ever makes contact with the aquarium. I don't trust California's water enough to add it to my tank before treating it. Shamu, would you be surprised if I told you when I do my water changes, unless I do 50% or more, I don't even treat the water. I don't. Put it right on in. I don't put the chlorinator. I don't put what's the other one? Stress coat. I don't do any of that. If I do a 20% water change, 30% water change, go right in. But that's only if it's like a big aquarium. Maybe if it was like a 10-gallon. If it was a 10-gallon, I probably would. 20-gallon, I probably would. But definitely make sure that if you're doing a bigger water change than a 50-gallon, 50%, you want to treat it. But yeah, California water, I haven't had a problem with it. I don't like putting chemicals in my aquariums. I don't. Let's see what he got to say. No, Shamu, I don't treat the water. I call the cops. I'm in SAC. But you know what? I did had the same method in Antioch. I had the same method in Antioch. Like I said, like, you don't have to though. You get what I'm saying? Like, unless it's a big aquarium, you don't have to. But again, if you're doing extra large water changes, you might need to. You'll notice by the way the fish react. If you do a water change and your fish don't react to the water being put into the tank at all, if they just don't even acknowledge it, they act in the same way the whole time, don't have to treat it. Medina, good night. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. I'll see you next time. The consumer review. What do I do for work? Well, I have my own business. I'm like a contractor. So I do a lot of different jobs for a lot of different commercial companies. And I do everything from plumbing to painting to landscaping to moving to regular handyman stuff, moving stuff around. I do it all. Only thing I'm not doing is I'm not really touching the electrical too much. Only some things. Change a ballast, I could do that. Change out an outlet, I could do that. Things like that. As far as Envish, good night. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in, bro. Appreciate you. But yeah, so that's what I do for work. Maintenance. I'm glad I was able to get you into the saltwater game. Yeah. You got a 110 now? Yes, sir. That's right. Bullseye asks plans for the new build, for a new build. Yeah. I could turn you around. I don't know if you caught this already. I don't know if you caught that. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. But we got that good 1,600 gallon right here that needs to get built. Once this thing gets built, I plan on turning this right here into maybe 1,000 gallon. I was thinking 800 gallons, but I don't want to go 800 and then I say, I wish I would have went the extra 200 gallons. So I'm going to get 1,000 gallon right here. And then let me spin you around a little bit more. Spin you around. Right here is where my 800 gallon is. I'm going to try to get at least 3,000 gallons right there, if I can. I'm going to try to get 3,000 gallons right there. That way, I know I've done my fish right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a lot of big fish, a lot of fish that will get big. So I just want to make sure that, that I'm treating them correctly. I don't want to give them a minimum tank size. I want to over tank them. You know what I'm saying? So with the 1,600 gallon, everybody that's not in this pond is going to go in there. Everybody from the 240 is going into there. Everybody from the 150 is going into there. That big around me going into there. Then everybody that's in here obviously gets that nice big upgrade. And anybody that's like super aggressive, like I'm gonna end up putting my tiger shovel nose in there. I have an albino arowana that's gonna go in here. I probably put my tire track eel in there. So once everything get freed up, then I can have some other kind of tanks going on. Like I might turn one of these into like a big planet tank. You know what I mean? And have a bunch of smaller fish. But definitely got big plans. But it's gonna take big money. So who knows how long it's gonna take. I hope that I could get these things done in 2024. Man, I would love for it to happen before then, but that 1,600 gallons is probably going to cost another like 3,500 to build. So bills got to be paid instead of that. So it's gonna take some time. Garcia, no problem at all. Yeah, everybody check out that replay. Check it out. It was real lit last night. All right, all right. Kayla, Cody, start breeding and selling fish on the side, and you could also let subscribers get a chance to own your fish. Just need babies and to hire a web designer. You know, I've had some people ask to buy my hybrids, but I never shipped fish before. You know, I can't really say I'm not comfortable. If somebody's local, we could definitely meet up. You could buy some of these hybrids, not a problem. But most of the people that want to buy these fish, they're like out of state. Some people are out the country. And I don't have any experience with shipping fish, not whatsoever. But between the hybrids I got in that 180 and now these guppies reproducing, maybe I can do something like that. Maybe I can. But again, it's just, I'm not really comfortable with shipping fish. You know, what if the fish come dead? You know, what if, I want to allow all of y'all to have access to these fish if y'all want. I'm going to get Tess. Tess taking a lap right there. And of course, Lisa Ray is definitely taking a lap. But I definitely want to give anyone the opportunity to have some of these fish. But I just got to figure it out. I got to figure out the process. I don't know how much it costs for shipping. Now I will probably need some heaters, some heat packs. But yeah, man, Tess is a gentle giant. Tess is a gentle giant. Now Bart, on the other hand, Bart is something else. Bart is something else. All right, all right. My favorite part about working at the plumbing supply house is telling non-plumbers people that we sell black nipples. That's funny. That's funny. So you say, Boozle asked me, does my tanks breed? Well, I only got one tank that's breeding, and that's my guppy tank. The pond, they bred my Dovine and my Feste, they bred in there it was like a freak accident. It was like a freak accident. I didn't plan it out. I didn't put them in there for that, but they did breed, and I have 180 gallons with, probably about 100 Dovine Feste fry. I got some of them back here in this tank. Matter of fact, there's one right there, right behind that my sticker. And that's the biggest one that I have. So I can't wait to see that one grow out. Junior, what's good with you? Gerald, what's happening? How you doing? I think I missed my commandment, but fresh green onions from the grocery store work great in the filter box. What? The green? Oh yeah, the green onions. I've tried that before. They kept on just falling over though. They didn't really last that long. Also a sweet potato. Some people do that. All right, y'all. So let's see what we got. What we got? All right. Regina, you said I need a PayPal account on my channel. You may get some help from your plans. So Regina, the problem is that I believe since I get AdSense revenue, I think it's against YouTube's rules that I cannot add the Cash App, PayPal. Some people do it. I don't know how they're doing it. I think if I was on live or something, I could probably have my Cash App somewhere in the background, but I can't put it in the description or anything like that. You know, it's against their rules. You know, I think I would get flagged. It'd be a problem. So that's the reason why I can't have anything like that on there. Also, I don't want to come off like I'm begging. Like this is my, you know, my plans. You know, so I got to do it on my own. You know, but I do have. Actually, I did start putting in the description my Cash App. So in the descriptions of most of my videos, I do have the Cash App. It's money sign Duckfish Corner. But you know, I definitely don't want to come off like I'm looking for a handout. You know, my plans they'll happen when I can get them done. But by all means, if somebody wants to help out, want to see this thing come into fruition a little bit faster, it's there. But you know, I'll definitely get there in due time. Just takes time. One foot in front of the other. I'm gonna make it happen. That's a fact. Junior, what's happening with you, man? How you doing? Streaming from Los Angeles. What's up? 808 Beast. You can see if one of your local fish stores would bag them for you, and then you could ship them out. They might even have boxes. I got a bunch of boxes. I got a bunch of boxes right now, and I got bags. I just don't know how much the shipping cost would be. It might be like $50. I don't know how many people want to pay. They might pay. Some people might pay. We'll see. We'll see. I'm really not in any rush to sell these fry. I mean, you know, they're still small, 3 to 4 inches. Some are still like, you know, an inch. But I enjoy my Rice Krispie treat aquarium. You know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, when I feed the fry, it sounds like Rice Krispie treats popping. So I don't really mind still holding on to them for a little while, but I know when it's time to let them go. You know, some of y'all gonna say y'all want them, and if you don't, you know, I could always slide them to the fish store. Gerald, you got to try the sweet potato? Yeah, give it a try. The only thing that you're going to want to worry about after a while is that it does get soft. But it's going to root like crazy. But, yeah, it does get soft. It really do. Tim, I need to set up a Patreon page. I've thought about that. I thought about setting up a Patreon page. I also thought about setting up a members-only page. You can do a link. That's what my friend do. Okay. Guy's a gamer. I'm gonna get that a try. Does he get AdSense, ad revenue? Because like I said, if you get ad revenue, it might be a little difficult. And DJ Guppy, yes, they definitely throw nice roots of sweet potatoes. Go, man. Good night. Have a good one. Appreciate you for stopping through. Regina, you might be right then. If you say that you could, that everybody in the yard community does it, I'm gonna start trying it. Like I said, I do have my Cash App in the description. It's one of the last. It's up under all the links. Heaters or room regulated? Boozle's Tanks asks, do I have heaters or is my room regulated? The room is regulated. The only tank that has a heater is my discus tank. Boozle, you've grown strawberries? That's nice. Did you eat them or you just grew them? I wonder what those taste like. Were they good if you ate them? I don't know if I'll be able to eat them now. I thought about doing greens. Oh, okay. So 808B say he know when he ships fish from Hawaii to the West Coast, it only costs about 48 to 60 bucks, depending on how heavy. How heavy is that? When it's like 48 to $60, how heavy are we talking about? I just want to get an idea. And Gaza Gamer said, yep, he gets ads. Okay, all right. I'm gonna make sure I do that. Definitely appreciate you. All right. He just have the link so you could click on it and they can send the money right to you. Where's he put the link at? In the description? And you ate the eat the fish poop strawberries. Tim, that's right. I definitely wasn't I wasn't convinced about the strawberries, but they might be good. They might be good. Good fertilizer? Yeah. You went to Jack Wally Discus in Miami a couple months ago. Mesmerizing. All right, Carl. Have a good night. You were sitting there quiet the whole time. Carl, next time you got to join in on the chat. You never answered the question or nothing. I'm going to hold you to it next time. But you know what, y'all? I got to go too. It's time to eat dinner. It's 10 p.m. I'm eating late. I got to still put in a couple hours. And do I have Zelle? Shamu, I do have Zelle. I do have Zelle. The Cash App might be the easiest. It's from 5 to 10 pounds. Secret and less water, more air. The secret is less water, more air. Okay. All right, thank you for that 808. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Cleveland Saltwater 75-gallon update. All right, I'll do that soon. I'll do that tomorrow, matter of fact. All right, y'all, so I hate to wrap it up. It was fun, but I gotta eat, gotta go. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Thank you everybody for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate you all. Y'all have no idea. Y'all make this time go by so fast. Been on for 107 minutes. So I can't wait to do this again. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Have a great night. Stay blessed. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.